Brian the loser is not here. Welcome to Big Pick 4, the NFL game picking show, where Big Brian B, who has bailed for the evening, and Big Danny D give you the best four picks for Sunday games, to include the guaranteed picks, the Big Danny D guarantee, and Big Brian B guarantee. Brian took his ball and went home because what was the reason tonight, Dan?
He didn't want to stay here. He was afraid to get home at 11, and he's afraid he'll be chased by a wolf or some other animal as he's walking home. So there's some woods near the train station, and he might get eaten by a bear or a wolf or a lion or something.
I have seen a bear in New Jersey, so that's very legitimate.
A teenager got mauled by by a bear, maybe a week or two ago. So
You see, that's a smart man.
So he bailed. Even though it takes him about half hour to get home from here, 45 minutes. He bailed because he didn't want to be here all night.
The record for the season is 3-9. 3-9. Going into week 3, we had only won one of our picks, which was for the New England. I was almost going to say the New England Saints. The New England Patriots. Last week, we went 2-2, coming through on both guaranteed picks, but losing with our combined picks of the Bills and Packers. Let's have a quick recap, Danny D.
Well, the Packers just sucked last week. They were awful. Aaron Rodgers was awful. Eddie Lacy had 2 fumbles. They just played a terrible, terrible game. Detroit didn't play that much better, to be quite honest. They got a cheap touchdown on an Eddie Lacy fumble. Otherwise, this game really would have been horrible. It was 19-9 as it was. It would have been like 12-9. That would have been just gross. Anyway, it was a terrible game, and the Packers played terrible, and they lost. As for the other game, you have to be impressed with San Diego. They beat Seattle, then fly across country, play an early game, and then beat up the Bills. I'm impressed by them. They're a good team. You know, they have a good defense. They lost Danny Woodhead in that game. He broke a leg. He's out for the season. That's going to affect them. They already lost Ryan Matthews for 5 weeks, their running back. But somehow Philip Rivers finds a way. You know, he's just one of those guys. If only he could do it in the playoffs. I mean, this guy would be amazing. But so far this season, they've really impressed me with their play.
Then we move on to the guarantees. Struggle being with the Colts won hands down. You beat the Jags. That's why you should have bet against Oakland. I mean, that would have locked in another win. But yet we went with the Seahawks. We went into overtime, and yet again they are the victors.
Yep, they with the Indy pick, that was kind of a slam dunk. The Jaguars have been outscored 119-37 this year. That's an average score of 39-12 that they lose. So they get to get crushed. So that was an easy pick. I thought Indy would get back on the wagon, so to speak, with a game like that after struggling in the first 2 games against more equal opponents in the Broncos and the Eagles. But once they played an inferior team like that, I just was like, all right, they're going to crush them. And then Seattle, we got lucky. Seattle did blow a 17-point lead in the fourth quarter to have the game tied on them. But they came through with a touchdown in the overtime period to make sure Peyton didn't get the ball back. And they were able to cover the 5-point spread with that touchdown. So that was lucky. But the Indy pick, I think, was the best pick. Just because I knew Jacksonville wasn't going to show up, and the Indianapolis crushed them.
Could Indy be the new love train for the 14-15 season, Dan?
Who knows? Could be. I don't know. Find out.
It's a cliffhanger.
That's right. You know, it's like Dallas. Who shot JR?
Unlike Dallas, there you go. Maybe there's another team we should put on the hit list along with Oakland and the Jaguars.
Maybe the Redskins. They're 1-3 now. They stink.
I forgot to mention at the start of the show, there's been actually a major corporate decision made at Big Pick 4 that we are now the Big Pick 4 Washington Redskins show. Being that there is no longer a trademark or a copyright, we are officially the Big Pick 4 Washington Redskins show. So you, the fans, can now come up with a logo to just bring the two great companies together into one. Feel free to use anything that's out there in terms of logos. What do they call it when a company has property that is typically trademarked and
copyright?
Yeah, no, trademarked and copyrighted. Anything that's out there that's available is free to use to embellish the Big Pick 4 name to make it the Big Pick 4 Washington Redskins. I think that's a good idea. Don't you, Dan?
No. I don't.
It's free, for Christ's sake. There's no investment required for this.
Sure, but who wants to be affiliated with the Washington Redskins? I mean, it's an ugly name with a stupid owner. I mean, what are you going to do?
They didn't even make a caricature of a redskin.
They do.
They made a very lifelike. What's that?
There's one on the side of their helmet. There's this caricature of what an Indian's supposed to look like.
No, but it's a lifelike picture. It's not like the Indians where it's like, silly cartoon. The Cleveland Indians.
Yeah.
It's a lifelike Native American, a very distinguished looking Native American, right?
Yeah, I don't know about that. Still think
no, it is.
I know it is, but it's
fierce warrior and everything. They're not putting them down. It's not like the Cleveland Indians. Hee-haw, like. No. Whatever we got going on there. I mean, it's a serious, distinguished Native American warrior.
I didn't know that cartoon Indians made donkey noises.
They don't. But that's why.
No, it's just...
That's why the Redskins logo is more heinous, because they're trying to disguise it as a compliment. That's what I'm saying.
I guess. I mean, they're both bad in their own way.
It's like the Cleveland's I would be more outraged about that. You're making us into a cartoon donkey, like we're silly, we're a dumb donkey or something, It's like googly eyes and, a silly face and, but the Redskins, they come out and they're like, they draw this, this Indian warrior that, if you were an Indian, that's what you want to be, this fierce warrior. They draw this great depiction of an Indian, and they're like, yeah, but isn't that a human being there? That's not like a fierce lion or something.
I mean, look what the Chiefs do. The Chiefs just have an arrowhead on their helmet. The Braves have a tomahawk. It's not a...
Exactly, yes, right.
It's nothing that's a objectionable symbol.
It's when it's a pure compliment. Exactly.
Yeah.
Like a chief. We all want to be a chief,
Yeah.
We it's just like, here's how they can fix this. And I don't know that anyone else has proposed this but me. And it's a brilliant idea. They will become now the Washington Buffalo Soldiers. That's a compliment to African Americans and, how they fought in the cavalry. I mean, that's genius, isn't it, Dan? The Buffalo Soldiers.
Why not the Buffalo Soldiers? Might be accused with the Buffalo Bills. I don't know. Watch,
I mean, why not Washington Buffalo Soldiers?
just have a contest. Put like 5 or 6, 10 names on a website and ask the fans to vote for what name they like best, and that's the new team name.
Didn't? Oh no! Then you're going to come up with the Wizards.
Well, yeah, that was awful.
Yeah. Let's not revisit that one.
Yeah, that was pretty dumb. But the team would be able to sell so much new stuff too. Everyone would buy the new stuff.
No, but wasn't that a great compliment from Bob Marley with the song, Buffalo Soldier?
He's Jamaican.
No, but it was a compliment to the African American soldiers, that fought for the United States.
And what do you put on the helmet? A big face, a Bob Marley face on the side of the helmet?
Oh, you put a mounted African American cavalry soldier on a horse.
How is that any better? That's just as bad.
No, that's a compliment.
How about the fighting O.J. Simpsons? Just put a guy with a knife like this on the side of the helmet. Come on.
No, I'm not. No, I actually think that's. I mean the Buffalo. You're not talking about a race of people like a Redskin. You're talking about like the Spartans. What's the difference between the Spartans and the Buffalo Soldiers? The Spartans were great fighters. They were fierce fighters, and so were the Buffalo Soldiers.
Why not just the Washington Soldiers? And they put like some army guy, like gun or something on the side of their helmet.
Yeah, could be. That might could work.
I don't know. They'll need to come up with something. That's why they stink, though, from the top down, because their owner's an idiot. Not just on that, but so many other things. That's why they're always bad since he took over. When they got rid of Jack Cook, and then this clown took over, and they've been awful ever since.
I laughed so hard when I was listening to a radio show, and they're like, "Well, our picks for Thursday night," and they're like, "The Redskins." I said, "What are you, nuts?" I knew the Giants were going to win that.
Yeah, I know. I was telling Brian, go with the Giants, but he said, "Oh, no, I'm telling everyone to go with the Redskins." But we all saw how that worked out.
Thank you.
I need to show him it. Can you see it?
Yeah.
I'm going to Disney World October 3rd, so if you want to come on down, come on down.
All right, thank you. Our first combined pick, coming off at 3-9, coming back with 2 solid picks and wins for the guarantees for last week, with your recap, Colts and Seahawks. Let's have the combined picks for week 4, Danny D.
All right, our first combined pick is Atlanta at Minnesota. Atlanta is favored by 3 points. Atlanta, obviously, they crushed Tampa Bay, who stinks, last week by a billion points, and I don't think it's even worth discussing that game because that was ridiculous. Minnesota lost the game on the road last week to New Orleans. They're starting a rookie quarterback, Teddy Bridgewater. Looks like he's about 15 years old. And I just think Atlanta's going to win this game. I think their defense is going to be able to confuse Bridgewater. He hasn't played a lot. He's not really know what's going on. Minnesota has Cordell Patterson. That's about it. And the receiving core, their tight end is out. Adrian Peterson's out in jail beating up children. Their defense isn't great. I don't think they'll be able to cover all of Atlanta's weapons. Matt Ryan has played really well this season. I mean, I know they lost to Cincinnati, but Cincinnati is a superior team to almost everyone except maybe Seattle and Denver in the league. So I can understand that. But they're going to Minnesota. They play outside now because Minnesota decided to blow up the Snow Dome before they build a real new stadium. But I just think Atlanta is going to win this game. I mean, they're a 3-point favorite, which is kind of interesting. There's a lot of road favorites in the spreads this week. But the Atlanta's a better team. They're better offensively. They're better defensively. They're better coached. I think they're going to be able to confuse Bridgewater, and I think Matt Ryan's going to have a big day throwing to all his weapons he has. He has Roddy White's going to be back this week. So I really think Atlanta's going to win this game fairly easily. It's a low spread. I think it's a good bet, and I don't think it's going to be much of an issue.
Where is Minnesota playing now?
They're playing at the University of Minnesota Stadium. They put in $50 million to refurbish it. You know, it's fairly new, but they put in heating coils on the turf, and they replaced the turf with Viking turf, and they put in some other luxury items in the stadium to make it up to NFL standards. And I think
they're playing in a college stadium.
They are. They're playing in a college stadium, but I think they're only playing 7 games there. I think they're playing a game in London this year.
Wow, there's 2 games in London this year?
Yeah, and I think next year they want 3. A guy came out today and said by 2022 they expect to have a team there.
Wow. We could do a whole segment, a whole bit on that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we could talk for 2
we would
hours.
have to do get up like a comment, like a Benny Hill type comedy bit on that.
Yeah, I don't like it at all. I think it's ridiculous. It puts that team at a complete disadvantage. I mean, what if that team in London has to play against Seattle and they take a 9-hour flight? It's ridiculous. Or 12-hour flight. It's insane.
Well, their target. I mean, they wouldn't keep doing it if there wasn't some bite there in London. There must be a novelty for them.
It is. They love it. They actually go. The ratings are good. They think they have enough. They really think a team could survive there and play and do well. I mean, they have Wembley Stadium. They have the facility already there for it. They just need to build have a team build a practice facility and other stuff. But I mean, I'm absolutely with that. As long as a European soccer team can't survive in the U.S., I'm perfectly fine with a NFL team surviving in Europe, just not a European soccer team surviving in the U.S. So we win. I guess. I don't think it would work. It would necessarily mean anything. That team would want to be home. They would have their home games. They would have to have a whole European division in order for it to work, because that team would just be traveling so much. It would be ridiculous.
Oh yeah, right. If that was a real team over there, can you imagine their schedule?
They're serious about putting a team there. They're saying that they think a team could be there by 2022. They're not fooling around.
Are they bringing back the Concorde or what?
I don't know, but I mean, I know NFL Europe didn't work, but you have to have where does this team play? They'd have an odd number of teams. You have to put teams in Los Angeles again in order to make it work.
Well, they have to move a team over there.
Yeah, and then how do you have to realign the whole sport again to refit so you have the structure? Right now, everything's perfect. You have 16 teams in each conference, and there's 4 teams in each division, and there's 4 divisions in each conference. It's perfect symmetry. I don't know why they want to screw that up by adding all these bullshit teams in London or Mexico or Toronto. It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, you can't cover all that ground. You just can't.
They were talking about they want to play games in Mexico, Brazil, Germany, and China to try to expand the brand.
Wow.
It's crazy.
These poor players.
It's ridiculous. I mean, it's just, I don't understand.
Yeah, but I see where they're going with this, because you create a European a league, some type of European, not league, but what do you call them, conferences, right?
Division.
Well, no, we've got. Wait, what? All right, so you don't have the AFC.
Or maybe you're right. I mean, maybe you do put. I mean, you have to put a lot of teams.
No,
you put 12 teams over there and have their own conference.
Yeah. You create a conference, but some type of hokey conference. But then you give them like a wild card, like their best team. You give them a wild card into the actual playoffs.
Yeah, well, they would be in the league. They would be able to make the playoffs. But where do these players come from? I mean, the league's stretched thin as it is. It just doesn't make any sense to me for any type of expansion unless you move the team there, from Jacksonville into London, something like that, because you just can't expand anymore.
I kind of like you have a separate conference, but they can't be on the same par or the same level as the AFC, NFC. You know what I mean?
Why would they do it? Because
you let one of their teams, or you let like a couple of their teams in as a wild card every year.
I know, but the teams want to make money. They have to make the playoffs, and they want to host a playoff game. Why should they not be allowed to host a playoff game?
Oh shit, that sucks.
You know, it's just the whole thing is absurd. You can't have it.
Don't work.
No, it doesn't work.
Get Goodell out of here. Get Goodell out of
He
here.
might be gone anyway. So after all the mess he's created for himself.
That don't work. That don't work.
No.
Hey, when I was at Army, we played at what was it? Ireland. We played a game in Ireland.
Probably lost too.
Probably.
Yeah, Penn State played there.
I couldn't go.
Oh,
I think I had tapeworms or something.
nice.
Yeah.
Penn State and University of Central Florida played over there this year.
See, that's what I'm saying. It's like the Golden Isle game or whatever they do. It's Army did that one year when I was there.
Yeah. They play at some dumpy soccer stadium.
I'm sure they're paying the IRA for protection or something. For security. Just like we do with the Hells Angels over here. You know? Second combined pick. Week 4 NFL.
Our second combined pick for Week 4 is New Orleans at Dallas. New Orleans is a road favorite at -3. I believe Drew Brees is 4-1 against the Cowboys in his career. The Saints got off the schneid last week.
Who dat? Drew Brees! Oh, yeah.
The Saints got off the schneid last week by a fairly unimpressive victory against the Vikings. They only won 20-9. They didn't really do a whole lot. I thought there'd be a little bit more of a blowout. But they got their act together. Whereas the Cowboys should have lost to the Rams. They did not play very well in that game at all. They were down 21-0 and came back because of just the Rams' just overall incompetence. But the Rams had a chance to win the game. They probably should have at the end before their 8th string quarterback decided to screw it up. So I have no faith in them. But as I said, Drew Brees beats the Cowboys. It's a low spread. It's only 3 points, and I believe the Saints will win by more than that. Obviously, I think they're going to get in gear again. Dallas defense still stinks. The St. Louis receivers had a big day against them, and the Saints receivers are better. And Drew Brees is better than Austin, whatever the hell his name is, who's the quarterback in St. Louis. So because of that, we're going with the Saints.
Dallas has won a game this year?
They are 2-1. So they need to get back to normal, get back to 500 this week. So they feel better.
Dallas is 2-1?
Yeah. They beat an awful Tennessee team, and they barely beat an awful Rams team. But they lost to the 49ers.
New Orleans is 1-2?
New Orleans lost to Atlanta the first week, and then somehow lost to Cleveland the second week, both on the road, and then they won last week at home. They should have beaten.
Wow.
They should have beaten both those teams.
Yeah, right. We bet on them 1 week.
Yeah, I mean the first week we bet on them because the line had moved all the way to New Orleans, and honestly they should have won that game. They kind of screwed everything up in the fourth quarter, and they should have beat Cleveland. That was just a ridiculous performance in that game. Cleveland stinks, and that was ridiculous. But I think they've gotten their act together. I mean, Peyton's a good coach. Brees knows what he's doing. I don't think you can really say that for the Cowboys, but so we're going with the Saints.
So there you have it, your first combined picks for week. Not your first combined picks, but your combined picks for week 4 NFL, being your Atlanta Falcons and your New Orleans Saints. To win, we will now have a word from our sponsor.
You're gonna love her. Yeah.
Hey.
Hey. Oh, wow. Ken, this is Sarah.
Hi, it's nice to meet you.
Some things are not made to share. Some things are. The distinct taste of Alexander Keith's, made to share.
Are you for real? Week 4. Let's have it, Danny D.
All right, my Are You For Real is you, Scott O'Hare, for saying they don't show fighting during football games. They clearly showed fighting during that Eagles-Redskins game. They showed it 100 times, all those guys punching and throwing each other. They didn't pan away and show like the sky or the cheerleaders. They showed the whole fight. I don't know what the hell you were talking about. They showed the whole thing. Hey, come on. They don't show fighting.
That ain't hockey. I mean, it ain't hockey. It ain't. They always. Maybe I think it started on Monday Night Football, where they would. You would hear, the announcer saying, describing the fight.
No, the only thing
they would pan away from the fight.
No, the only thing they don't show is when someone runs out in the field. Even though someone did run in the field a couple weeks ago as a pirate, that was pretty funny. But they try not to show that because they don't want to encourage people running onto the field. But then, of course, they show the fighting. They show it for 2 reasons: because it's funny and because the league wants the footage so they can see who did what in a fight. If anyone threw punches, if anyone did anything.
Well, no, they film the fight, but they don't televise it.
They do.
They don't televise the fights.
They televised the fight on TV last week. They showed the whole damn thing on the Fox broadcast when they fought.
Oh, they show the beginning of it and then they cut away.
No, they didn't. They showed the whole thing. There's no cutting away. There's no going to commercial break. There's no Joe Buck doing a stand-up routine and or singing a duet with Troy Aikman. They showed the whole fight.
Maybe I'm a little too perceptive when I watch games because I realize there's fights going on that aren't being shown. And other people that aren't as in tune as me, you don't pick up on the cues from the announcers that say, all right, we had a little this or a little that, between players, and they're showing something else that's not the fight.
Maybe, but in a major skirmish like that.
Picking up on it. I mean, I pick up on those little nuances.
But it's a big skirmish like that. It's both teams fighting. There's nothing else to show. Both teams are fighting.
The jury's still out on that, folks. But that is your what? You for real? Week 4 NFL. I will have to come back with my retort next week. Well, I will show you. No, I won't. That's too much research. I can't get in that.
Oh, that's really going to stop you after Pirate Porn Gate.
I actually owed 2 new sound effects for this week because I told Danny D and Brian B that for every win, they would have a new sound effect. That every week I would add a new sound effect for each win, but
oh, nice.
I didn't do that, so I'm hoping that I can find one of the old ones.
You need a buzzer.
That they haven't. No, I'm hoping I can find one of the old ones that you haven't heard in a while.
Well, I think you need a buzzer too.
We could do that, yeah. But actually no. Actually, this is a new one that I researched and I pulled down for this week for a new sound effect.
Okay.
I think we became a team today. We became a team.
That was a what do you call it? Hot off the press there, eh?
Yeah.
Or this one is actually very fresh.
A team that is known as the Bears. The Bears.
That's very fresh.
Yeah.
That was great.
We haven't heard that one in a while.
So those are my 2 new sound effects for this week. Now moving on to the big Danny D guarantee. That's my Oprah voice. Did you recognize that?
No, she usually does it with a sandwich in her mouth. So,
She's still in the green room eating the sandwiches.
That's right. She's in the Big Pick 4 green room.
Eating everything in sight.
Including the furniture. She carries around a jar of chocolate with her. She just pours on everything and eats it.
You know, I would love to thumb through that magazine sometime, that O magazine. I bet there's a lot of life's lessons to be learned in
There's
there.
a different piece of cake on every page.
Is that scratch and sniff? Cupcakes,
That's right.
chocolate. Mm.
A magazine just for fat women.
No, I think it's life-changing. I think if women would really internalize the O, the writings of the O magazine lady, that they would all own billion-dollar, multimedia outlets.
No, that's not going to happen.
I think there would be hundreds of thousands of these Oprah-type setups going on.
There's only one orca. No one can touch her.
There's enough bandwidth for all that, isn't there? If everyone that follows the, what do you call it, The Secret and all the O things from Oprah.
I don't know. I don't know any of this. I don't pay attention to any of this.
If you read every book from a book club and you bought every O magazine, wouldn't you also own a multi-billion-dollar media station? I mean, it only makes sense.
I would be crazy.
Probably.
You'd be nuts. You'd be nuts to do that.
And you wouldn't be Oprah, would you?
No, unless you get a lot of plastic surgery. No.
Aye. Let's have our first guarantee, Danny D.
All right. My guaranteed pick is Tennessee at Indianapolis. Indianapolis favored by 7.5. I'm going with Indianapolis. I think they're getting on a roll now after they beat up on Jacksonville. Tennessee is also another patsy they're playing this week, and I think they're going to blow them out too. I like to go with a good team against a bad team. I think that's a sound strategy, unlike some other people who we'll discuss later. But anyway, I think Andrew Luck's going to have a big game. Despite their best efforts, Trent Richardson will somehow do something. Tennessee is another awful team. Jake Locker might not even play. He's hurt. Their defense has shown nothing so far. I really think that Indy's going to be able to take advantage. I mean, they want to win at home. They've lost their only home game so far. They need to get back on a roll. Houston's going to fall on their face at some point. So Indy's needs to get back so they can, get on top of that division. And this is the second.
Could have your love train.
That's right. And, this is a division game, so they can go 2-0 in the division. So I think Indy will win comfortably over Tennessee.
How many wins does Tennessee have?
1. They won their first game against Kansas City, and they have lost 2 straight. They're not that good.
No. I mean, the first game, throw it out.
I don't really see it with them. They lost to a good team on the road last week against Cincinnati, and now they're playing another good team on the road again, and I don't think they're going to struggle.
But Jet, you're singing the praises of the Bengals, but yet we have not chosen the Bengals as a pick yet.
I wanted to pick.
What's up with
I
that?
wanted to pick them last week, but BK was too afraid to pick them as a combined pick for some reason. I don't get it.
For some reason, in that he picks losing teams? Was that the reason?
I guess so. I wanted to take them.
Guess so. Here's to you, bro.
I mean, I wanted to take Jacksonville as my Indy is a guarantee pick over Jacksonville, but I felt the Bengals should have been a combined pick. But he was afraid by the spread or something. I don't know. Looks like he's afraid of the dark.
You're talking about a guy that tries to nickname himself. So
oh my God.
Let's start there.
You have no idea how many.
Let's start there and go forward.
You have no idea how many nicknames he has that he's given himself.
Oh yeah, and none of them have stuck.
Big B,
except for the big green ape.
Big B, Coco the monkey, Cactus Jack.
Coco the monkey.
Iceman.
Iceman.
I forget. There's so many of them. Oh man. Numbnuts. Dumbass. Magilla Gorilla.
But yet he would love to choose his own nickname, wouldn't he? Wouldn't we all? Hey, wouldn't we all?
Oh, he does. Iceman. He thinks he's.
Yeah, he's Iceman. He's, you know.
What do you call it? Tom Cruise jawline.
Tom Cruise what?
Jawline. He said a girl told me a Tom Cruise jawline.
Oh, Tom Cruise jawline.
Yeah, that was when he was in high school. Which is also the man who once said that high school is the most important 4 years of your entire life.
Oh my God. So sad. I'll drink to that. It's like, I've had the time of my life, and I never felt this way before.
That's a sick movie.
But anyway. No, but you know, that's Brian's high school.
I was going to say, but that movie is like a child molester movie.
What?
Because
what? That's Footloose. What are you talking about?
Patrick Swayze is like 45 years old, and Jennifer Grey is like 16. He's having an affair with her, and nobody sees anything wrong with this. The father wants to kill him, and then at the end he's like, "Oh, all right."
What's wrong with this picture?
I don't know.
I just like the tune, you know. I mean,
yeah, I guess, but that was a bizarre movie.
Well, at least if I sang some karaoke like I just did, you could at least tell what song it is. Unlike, you know, Brian B. when he tries to sing some karaoke. Yeah, folks.
And when he fights with the
Wait, you want to clear the house?
When he fights with the DJ,
it's like, look, if it's last call and you're trying to clear out the bar, just bring Brian B. up for some karaoke. That place will clear out.
Like that.
I mean,
you better make sure all the fire exits are unlocked, ready to go.
Yeah. You better be. You will get a full-fledged fire inspection at that point. People will be heading for the exits.
And then he'll fight with the DJ, saying he didn't get to do all the songs he wanted to do.
You've never seen so many unfinished drinks on the bar in your days.
Yeah, but then he might go over and start drinking them.
Yeah.
Ooh, it's free alcohol.
As long as you got someone that can get him out, you'll be safe.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you remember in the old days though, when the TV stations would sign off for the night, and you would have they would play the Star Spangled Banner, and then you would get the test screen.
Yeah, and then at 4 o'clock in the morning they'd show Perspectives, and they come back on the air.
They'd be like showing fighter jets flying across the screen.
Oh yeah.
Like, oh, say,
the flag.
can you see? Yeah, they're like flags waving, and then all of a sudden it would go to the test screen and be like, boo! It's like, you have reached the end of your broadcast day.
Stay tuned for Perspectives at 4 a.m.
Stay tuned in the morning for Perspectives at 4 a.m.
Yeah, with Reverend somebody, you know.
But now they just run these damn infomercials all night for these fools that buy this shit.
That's right.
It's like, I'm successful in real estate and I have a helicopter, but I want you to be successful too.
I have a helicopter.
All you got to do is buy my book and my tapes, and I'm going to tell you how you can be successful too.
Brian went on to those seminars once.
Oh, did he?
He did.
He got a free...
With Donald Trump. Him and 1,700 other people were there. And he said it was a thing where you bought houses that are in foreclosure. Then you're supposed to turn them over, flip them and sell them.
That's right. Flip them over, baby.
But these houses were in the worst places in the world. So you're never going to sell them. You'd be stuck with all these houses. And then you have to assume the mortgage if you don't sell within a period of time.
They're buying houses in, like, Cairo, Egypt.
Yeah, you're buying it like in Camden and North Philly and Trenton and Reading, all these other horrible places. Baltimore, I don't know. And then you try to flip them, but then you're stuck with it if you don't sell it. And Brad's like,
But Donald Trump don't show up to this shit.
yeah, Donald
he
Trump
don't show
was
up.
there. That's why Brian went.
You kidding me?
I'm serious. It was at the Pennsylvania Convention Center, and Brian went, and he thought this was going to be the get-rich-quick scheme.
That was going to be his big break, wasn't it?
Yeah, because only he heard this, unlike the other 5,000 people who were there.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, we made fun of him for months after that.
Well, it was an awakening.
Oh yeah, awakening of the money he threw away to go there.
That was his Oprah moment, man.
Yeah, well, it didn't work out too well.
He must have fell asleep or something. He must have missed out.
Yeah, he missed out on the part where he actually needed money and capital in order to do this correctly.
That's right. And in order to actually make money, you need to.
That's right.
It's like, just drive down the street at 2 a.m. and look for the sirens. There's your target opportunity, people.
That's right.
That's right.
He knew this was going to happen too when he bailed on the show today.
I mean, you laugh, but I've done that in Baltimore. You know, I've found these great townhouses online, and I said, well, let me roll in there at about 2 a.m. on a weeknight and park on the street, and let's see what happens. Oh no, we don't want that one.
No, that can't be good.
If people are walking by your prospective property with 40s and brown bags, brown paper bags, you probably don't want that one.
No.
And if they're coming up asking you for a ride while you're parked out in front of your prospective purchase, you probably don't want that one.
No, you don't. No, that's not a good idea.
If they're knocking on the neighbor's door and at 2 a.m. saying he's usually here, you probably don't want that one.
No, that's not going to turn out too well for you. Because either you're going to lose money on the property or it's going to burn down at some point or be part of a police investigation. So you don't want that.
And if they cleaned up the front of the house, but the backyard looks like a hazmat disaster area.
Yeah, right. It's like when you
don't want that one.
It's like if you buy a suit that has no back on it. It looks good in the front, but then you see the back, you see the ugly truth.
It's like the old falsy turtleneck,
Yeah.
There's nothing there,
Yeah.
It only goes down so far, but it's a turtleneck up top.
They're called a midriff.
Oh shit! I'm sure there is a name for that. I hope it's French, because it's a terrible, terrible idea.
Screw you. I have to stand up for my French roots, damn it.
Oh my God. You ever see the French hand salute?
Oh, they have a lot of practice doing that one.
Yeah.
Hey, they have great food though.
Do they? What would that be?
Oh, everything. The pastries are great.
The croissants.
The pastries, the tarts, the cakes, everything.
The tarts.
Oh, really? It's really something. Every meal you have there, it's just.
The French, they need a whole separate guy just to do the sauces.
Yeah.
It's like the sauces aren't part of the main deal. Yeah. They got a whole separate guy for that. They don't just,
because they know how.
The sauce is made by the regular chef guy. They got a whole separate guy just
because
for
they know how to cook. They don't go to McDonald's and get the number 3.
I love it. All right. So we're now move on to you're covering down on the Big B guarantee,
That's right?
All right. Start covering down on that when I get this next beer.
All right. Well, this week the big buru is taking. That's right, the big bad Buru, who's afraid of wolves, bears, the dark, crazy people attacking him at night, who throws rocks at trees, is afraid of squirrels and chipmunks and chickens and birds and whatever else is in the sky, panthers and lions and whatever possible coyotes, whatever, wild dogs, fish, a shark. The Buru
Sharknado.
That's right. Sharknado's going to follow him home and eat him before he gets back to his landfill apartment. Before he has the protection of the mold and the other bugs that live there with him. It must be like Noah's Ark. There's 2 of everything in there.
Two of the virus. Man.
Yeah. But anyway, the Buru is taking. Green Bay is at Chicago. Green Bay is a road favorite at -2. He is taking Green Bay. Aaron Rodgers plays great against the Bears, and Jay Cutler plays awful against the Packers for some reason. Now, logic would tell you that you should take the reverse because Chicago's played great the last 2 weeks on the road, and Green Bay blows on the road. However, I guess you have to go with history showing that Aaron Rodgers plays wonderful in Chicago. He knocked him out of the playoffs last week of the season. And for some reason, Cutler just doesn't play well against the Packers on some unexplainable thing. And it's a low spread. It's only 2. So if they win by a field goal, you're in the money. So it might be a close game. The Packers showed me nothing last week. I think to use a Bryanism, I think Aaron Rodgers is going to be mad. So he's going to play better this week. I don't think the stadium's going to have anything to do with this game at all. I don't think anyone will be making any announcements during the game. So I don't think this is not a gut pick, I presume. I don't think there'll be any mulligans on this one. But he's going with Green Bay on the road favorite.
Let me tell you something about a little bit I know about Las Vegas and the odds makers, the bookies, the sports books. They're geniuses because they will screw you over every time, just like going through the drive-thru. They will screw you over every time.
You go to a drive-thru in the Netherlands.
And they'll put out their traps, and you're going to fall for it like the jackass that you are. So let me tell you something here. So Green Bay starts out as an underdog, plus
It started
one.
as a pick'em, actually.
No, on Pinnacle, I'm logged in now. On Pinnacle, they were actually at a +1 opening.
Really?
They were a +1. Yeah.
Because on SBR Forum, they had the opener as a pick'em.
Yeah, but you got to log in and set Pinnacle as your opener. I don't know what SBR Forum uses as their opener now, but it ain't Pinnacle. So I'm looking now at the Pinnacle opener of Green Bay was a +1. Sucker. Okay,
Yeah.
so they're drawing you in. They're drawing you in. They're drawing you
Yeah.
in. Okay.
I tried to convince.
So mine has now slid to what I call, if you want to get into my world, which I mainly use for baseball, it's called a flop. It's flopped. Okay. So now Green Bay is the favorite. How the hell else were they going to draw you suckers in? They're going to draw you in, thrown in Green Bay as an undie, right? And now they're at a -2.
Yeah, I wanted to take Pittsburgh. I tried to convince them to take Pittsburgh 7.5 over Tampa. Pittsburgh blew out Carolina. Tampa stinks, and I think that would have been a better pick.
Is bullshit. That whole line is bullshit. -2, +2. Who the hell knows? They just bet on the game.
He called me at the office today to tell me about that pick. He's like, Dan, I know you're going to hate this pick. That's how he began the sentence. That's what I was saying. He called me and said, Dan, you're going to hate this pick. If you know I'm going to hate it.
It's called a losing pick.
Yeah, I thought.
That's what. I hate this pick. That's what it's
That's why I
called.
thought Pittsburgh was a much more solid pick. Detroit's another trap game, too.
Oh, I don't have all the board up. What's
Detroit's
the
minus
Detroit?
1.5. It started out as a pick'em.
Yeah. But the thing that people get wrong time in and time out is they say Vegas is just going to move the line. They're going to make their money one way or the other. But you got to realize, if nobody bets, they're not going to make money one way or the other. So this bullshit about, well, it doesn't matter. Vegas is going to make their money because they're getting the VIG and they're just, balancing the money on either side of the ball. Bullshit. They need people to bet. So they're going to come in with some proposition, a sales pitch. And the line's going to move and fool on you. I mean, if you jump in, I agree with you. When the line's open, if you're that smart to notice that Vegas is fooling you, and you can jump in right there when the line first opens, they can't fool you, right? Because you knew that was a sucker's bet. But most people don't know that. They're like,
Yeah.
now it's we're going to watch injuries. We're going to watch all these things as the week goes on. We're going to get into the hype. And, but that opening line is that's how they're trying to sell their product. They're trying to get bettors to bet.
Yeah, like that 49
on the way.
It's like the 49ers Philadelphia line. It's -5 for San Francisco. They're obviously trying to get some action there.
Yeah. If people aren't taking action, you're not betting. And as soon as you get action, you start moving the line. And then everyone's like, whoa, what happened here? Doesn't matter. The line's moving, and you got action, you got activity on your bet. So
yeah,
it's not a sucker's bet. No, it's never a sucker's bet, because you can pick one side or the other, but you just have to realize what Vegas is doing is they don't know who's going to win Chicago, Green Bay.
No, they don't.
But so what are they going to do? Are they going to make it a pick 'em? Hell no. They're going to put Green Bay as a +1, saying, hey, we think they're an underdog. They're an underdog. Bullshit. They're not an underdog. There's no fucking way.
Yeah.
They're an underdog.
Well, if they were an underdog, it would be
on the line.
it'd be +3 if they were an underdog.
Right. Dan, you hit the nail on the head. There's no such thing as a +1 underdog in the NFL.
No.
Come in bold. Give us a +3. But you know what? Too many people would have jumped on that, and they would have got their asses burnt. So they're like, let's get these fools.
Mm-hmm.
Let's make it a +1. And it's like they'll think it's an underdog, but it's really not an underdog. And as soon as the action starts happening, oh, well, now they're -2, which is still bullshit. It's still a pick.
It's really still a Chicago line.
Yeah. All these lines are favoring Chicago.
Yeah.
If Green Bay's at a -2, what's Chicago's record?
2-1. They won 2 straight road games at the Jets and at San Francisco. It's not my pick.
But Cutler can't go down the road. What's his shortcoming?
Interceptions.
He was a swap from the Vikings, wasn't he?
No, he came from Denver. Yeah, they made some deal and they got him from Denver.
Oh, it's Denver.
Yeah.
Okay. It was like a swap where there was like bad blood or something. And they swapped quarterback.
Yeah, Josh McDaniel was there and they couldn't stand each other, so they traded him away. And then they got Cowboy Kyle Orton, who didn't work out. Then they brought in Tim Tebow, who was terrible, and then they finally got Peyton in there.
But where did Cutler start his NFL?
Denver. He was there for like 5 or 6 seasons, I think. And then he went to Chicago.
Okay. That's why I was mixed up. I thought it was a Viking deal.
No, he never played for the Vikings. No, they got, what's his name? Jared Allen from the Vikings this year.
Wow. That's amazing. So, yeah, Brian, I'm sorry you're going to lose another Big B guarantee. Sorry about that. No, I mean, I'm not saying Green Bay's not going to win, but they're not going to cover.
It's a weird line. You have to be careful of that.
Yeah.
I mean,
no, but we mocked him. We mocked him once already this year, and he blew it.
Yeah, well, he sticks.
And we had the video evidence ahead of time of mocking him and saying your pick is stupid.
Well, you know, he goes with his gut. Not much you can do about that.
No, I mean, he needs to come up with a better method because, God, you know, all right, let's just break it down. Because you said betting against Tampa. Good bet this week. And I'm kind of betting against Oakland and London. Why the hell wouldn't you? I don't know the spread. I'm not looking at the full
It is
board.
minus plus 3.5. Oakland. It's plus 3.5.
Yeah. I'll take Miami. I wouldn't take the 3.5. I'd take the 3, but maybe not 3.5.
I think
You're probably right.
Both those teams are great, so I think that's a lousy. That's not a good bet.
Mm.
I mean, you could take.
So you're right on that. You're right on that. So what about the Jaguars this week? Why can't we bet against them?
I don't know. Brian doesn't like big lines, but they've been annihilated by an average of 39-12 in their 3 games, and the spreads.
And who are they playing?
They're playing in San Diego, and it's a 13.5 spread.
Oh no, I wouldn't take that. That's too big of a spread.
So that's the problem too. You get these really, really bad teams, and the spreads become great.
Don't you love it though? That's who Vegas wants you to bet on. They want you to bet on that Chicago Green Bay game, because if you look at the fact that Vegas is gonna win, no matter who wins, they're trying to pick a game where they can get the most activity, bettors on the line, and -1, -2, +1, +2. They don't care. They're trying to get action on that line because as long as they can keep you guys balanced between a -1 and a +2 or a +2 and a -1, they don't care. They're trying to get action on the line.
Sure, they want to make money.
And their perfect game is Chicago Green Bay because they can keep wavering that line and everyone's going to jump on it, minus, plus, and it's going to be right on the line. And they're going to make their money. They're making their money off of the fact that at the current -2, it's a -105. So guess what? If you're going to come in on the minus side, and you bet 100, they're going to make $5,
Yeah.
which is called 5%, or roughly there as 5%, right?
Yeah.
So they got to make that 5%. So that they're going to make the 5%. So the more excitement they can bring to that line and get you to bet on it, they're going to make their 5%. You fools, they can go back and forth 10 times this week. And you fools are going to keep betting, and they're going to get their 5% out of every one of you, no matter who wins.
Yep.
So that's the game. That's the game Vegas picked this week for the fool's bet.
Yep.
That's what
It's a
picked.
trap.
Mm-hmm. It's a roll of the dice.
Yeah. Well, that's what you get from the big buru.
Yep, that's what you get. So we're going to do the recap, ladies and gentlemen, for week 4, Big Pick 4 NFL. You are picking as your combined pick your Atlanta Braves. I'm sorry. Never mind. Your Atlanta Falcons. You're picking your Atlanta Falcons. What? Wait a minute. So both of your combined picks are -3s. You're picking Atlanta and New Orleans, and they're both away teams. What say you?
Honestly, I think they're playing inferior competition on the road. I mean, Atlanta should really beat Minnesota. They're a much better team than Minnesota. Better defense, better offense, better coaching. And Dallas is incompetent. They should have lost last week. They didn't play very well. They had some blow-ups this week. Morris Claiborne was pissed at the coach, and Jerry Jones threw him under the bus on radio, which was ridiculous. And Drew Brees understands what's going on there. He's like, okay, we won one game, so what? We need to start winning because Atlanta's winning, and because they want to go somewhere. And I think they're a serious team, so I expect them to win that game. And as I said, Drew Brees beats the Cowboys. He's like 4-1 against the Cowboys. So it's not a trap line. It's not 2. It's not 1.5. It's a solid 3. As a road team, it's really a touchdown. So I think that, I like New Orleans, even though I think a lot of people would bet on Dallas, really, at that line, considering that they're at home and it's a night game and all this other stuff. But they always screw up at the end, especially in those primetime games. So I really think New Orleans is going to win.
So does Putty. See if Putty can root. She bites me in the face. Did you see her, Dan?
Yeah.
She's a mean cat.
We have the first cat appearance of the year.
Look in the camera, Putty. Come on.
Oh, Brian would be going nuts right now.
Look in the camera. Putty's so cute. Look at Putty. Yeah, she got a good face shot that time. Okay, go down. Whoop. Okay, so now for our guaranteed picks. Let's first talk about the Danny D being Indy at -7.5. You stretched it last week. You won. Now you're trying to stretch it this week again. At a 7 and a hook. This is Danny because he's got to come back from last season where his guarantees were not coming through.
Nope. As I said, I'm going with the good team versus bad team.
Mm-hmm. So you're putting yourself out there, and you're saying, "Hey, I'll take that 7 and a hook. You're not fooling me. You could have put it at 7, which was the opener, by the way, and now we've gone to 7 and a hook." And you're like, "No, you're not fooling me. I'm going to take that all day," because I believe that good teams will beat bad teams.
Yes.
Yeah. But what it comes from is the in-depth analysis, and you're not just looking at I'm caught up in the hype of last week's win. No, you're looking deep in the charts of the personnel charts, injuries, coaching. You're looking at all the facets of the game.
Yeah, I mean, I know the Tennessee quarterback is hurt. They didn't play well last week. Their offense is fairly stagnant, and Andrew Luck was incredible against Jacksonville, and he got on a roll. But they really needed that to jumpstart their team. I mean,
do you think Andrew Luck is really a franchise quarterback going down the road?
Yeah.
Is he going to mature up and be that guy at some point?
He won 22 games his first 2 seasons. That's really good. I mean, he was the real pick in that draft, unlike Robert Griffin III, who stinks and gets hurt all the time.
Oh, God. Don't remind me.
He was the prize in that draft. And I think he's going to win something in Indianapolis eventually. I mean, I don't know when, but to win 11 games each of your first 2 seasons in the NFL is really good.
And your second guarantee from the Boo Room himself. I'm sorry, I clicked on the wrong thing.
The Boo Room.
Never mind.
The Boo Room and
he went with Green Bay. He fell for the suckers bet, as we discussed earlier, the Vegas suckers bet. The low-hanging fruit. He's trying to pluck some low-hanging fruit.
Yeah, right. It's like that monkey in the cage trying to grab the banana.
So this is what the Big B does for us.
That's right.
And you know what? The guy that was supposed to be the you for real for the Boo-Roo, which was the guy trying to do the discount double check for the Lions. Not funny at all. That has been cut from the show. Sorry, you won't. I'm. You can thank me that you don't have to see that. Cut from the show. Brian's you for real was going to be like he did a discount double check and he jumped up and he fell and he. What was his injury? Was it ACL?
Yeah.
So funny.
Yeah, that's 2 edits for him this year. First his announcement, And then his stupid You For Real. 2 edits from the show so far. Not good.
No, and it got cut. And maybe he does. Maybe he doesn't realize that was already a Come On Man.
Oh, where do you think you got her from?
Yeah, that's where we got it from. Wait a minute. Let me make something straight. The You For Reals are not Come On Mans. Okay? This is totally distinctive, different concept for the You For Reals. Okay? So, stupid is as stupid does. What can I tell you? So, I'm sorry that your You For Real has been cut, Big B. And you bailed on the show this evening, so we are talking about you. We're dissing you. We're, how do you say, being in your face, so to speak, because you're not here to defend yourself, and that's your own damn fault.
Hey, wanted to go home. You have to watch.
Yeah, you're fair play. You're free game.
You have to watch cartoons.
Yeah, it's like you're a big buffalo in a fenced area with a freaking number tag. I walk up with my rifle. I pay and I say I want to shoot down buffalo number 56. I just walk out into the fenced area and look for your ass. There's nowhere you can go. Okay? That's what happens when you walk away from the show like this. You're an animal in a game area. You're fair game to me. I paid to shoot your ass. Okay, I just did.
Good job, Dick Cheney.
That's right.
And then you shoot somebody in the face.
It's like, I didn't mean to.
The guy took the blame for it.
I forgive you. As long as you didn't mean to, I forgive you.
Yeah, the guy took the blame. He goes, my fault. I was in the way. This is ridiculous.
And I did that type of hunting one time, and I'm telling you, it's like, I could have taken all those guys out very easily. I was like, you get so excited, though. You get so excited. You spin around, and there's a bird up there. It's like, pow! It's like, whoopsie. My friend's dad was over there. I didn't notice that. I hope some of them pellets didn't get him.
That's not good.
Or the old hunting dog. He shouldn't have been so low. The
hunting dog. Oh my.
You can't blame the hunting dog, but that bird should have jumped higher.
That's right.
That bird should have jumped higher because that old hunting dog was still down there somewhere.
Well, I guess he'll be left.
He may have taken a couple for the team.
I guess he'll be left behind on that trip.
It's like, why the hell? Why the hell didn't that bird jump higher? It's like I had to make a decision, and it was to kill that bird.
That's right. I'm going to fire. That's the way it goes.
That old hunting dog may have taken one for the team at that point.
What a trooper.
What a trooper. Might have just been like one out of 50, but still, he's a trooper.
Oh, man.
Damn, that bird should have fluttered up higher.
That's right.
Oh, God. It's like... And you know what? That the reason that land was so beautiful that we hunted on in Pennsylvania was because they had chopped off an old coal mine. What do you call it, Dan? Where you clear the land and you mine it, and you
mining.
Yeah, but where
Quarry?
you don't dig the top, you just chop the mountains off at the top.
Oh, I don't know.
You just chop them off, clear cut or something. But I was wondering why there was a mountain with a flat spot on top, but apparently that was okay. to sacrifice the top of that mountain because we needed some coal that year.
Let's blow up the mountain.
But it makes a beautiful hunting site. You know, when you say, why the hell is there a flat top mountain in Pennsylvania with no old trees on top? We needed the coal that year, fellas.
Was that a Steven Seagal movie? I must stop them from blowing up the mountain.
I hope so, because it seems silly to me. I'm like, why are we in this big open fields on top of a half-sized mountain? But apparently we took the top of it because we needed some coal that year.
That's right. That's funny. Oh, my God.
But it's great for hunting pheasants.
That's good.
Yeah, it worked good for that.
Yeah.
As long as you stock them and you take them birds up in bags early on before the hunters show up and you drop them.
That's right. You used to have the pigeon shoot.
Them hunt dogs up there, they flush them out.
You used to have a shoot in Pennsylvania where you had this. They put the birds in cages and you let them out and then let the guy shoot them. But they got rid of that.
Oh.
It was fun. They're showing the news.
So bad, so sad.
They're showing the news every year. You see some old guy with a rifle shooting this poor bird as it came out of a cage.
As soon as they open the cage, he shoots the bird as it walks out of the cage.
That's right, and there's feathers everywhere.
Might as well. I mean, that's kind of how it was when I went hunting up there. But I thought I was a good hunter until they told me that they quote stock them birds. And then I realized that some dude had let them loose before we had went out that day to hunt them. These were wild animals.
That's funny.
But yet again, I don't know how many people I almost killed with this shotgun, spinning around and like I'm going to shoot a bird. You know. And I'm like, good thing I'm not trigger happy because I could have taken out the whole crew today.
That wouldn't have been good.
Just being excited about shooting a bird, I'm like, bird or human? All right, we'll back off on this one.
That's funny.
So, ladies and gentlemen, remember that the Boo-Roo doesn't hang with the team. As always,
score Big Pick 4.
Oh, I didn't have the song queued up.